So my name is Taylor Chu. I am a healthcare technology strategist at FPT Software. My background is in biochemistry and in data science, and I love everything about health and technology.
Excellent. Thank you. And what brings you to Australian Healthcare Week?
So FPT actually came to sponsor Australian Healthcare Week, and we had a talk at the digital health stage yesterday.
Yep.
We talked about how we've been able to help companies in Australia and also global in US, Japan, APAC, and Europe in technology projects, IT services projects.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit more about that, because Australian organisations creating solutions for the Australian healthcare market. There's certainly a little opportunity there, but I guess given the size of our population and the total addressable market, there's always appetite and interest in what's happening globally. Also, because I think there's probably some transferable stuff we do in Australia that would be relevant elsewhere. Tell me more about what you're seeing about the types of organisations that are really suited to looking abroad and what they should be doing.
That's a great question. I think that there's so many health tech companies in Australia that has the potential to go global. And the market in Australia is if you want to build a product that scale and has like a lot of reach to a big market, then you have to go somewhere. You have to go to US, you have to go to Europe for the investment opportunity and also for the market that you get access to. So I think it's a very natural thing for startups that want to have that scale and that bigger impact.
Yeah.
One of the companies that FPT works with is called MedAdvisor.
Yep.
And MedAdvisor, we've been with them for more than 5 years now, since they started with the Australian market, and then they take over 95% of the pharmacy market in Australia, and now they're in the US as well. So they're starting to work on the US market, and I think that's an example of where we've been able to partner with a health tech company in Australia and help them scale in this market and also go global as well. Yeah.
Interesting. Is there a common mistake or a pitfall or something for a health tech company to avoid if they're looking when going overseas?
I mean, I think it's so case by case, but every market is a little bit different. And the US market and the US healthcare system is very different from the healthcare system in Australia. So when you solve for a problem in Australia, it doesn't necessarily solve a similar one in the US. So you kind of have to redo a lot of the product market fit and looking at the market and looking at how you can tackle that market. Maybe the experience in Australia helps inform some of that work, but you still have to do some of that work again. You can't just take the same thing and like just sell the same thing in the US market. It may not work. Yeah. Yeah.
You can't pick up and copy and paste the same thing in. And even though they're English speaking countries and there's some similarities, you're going to have to meet the local market requirements and things like that. Yeah. Yeah.
The healthcare system works so differently, so much more privately driven. So, there's not a universal healthcare system, provision like in Australia, and a bigger market as well with more players, different competitors, and a different landscape. So, different place to play in. Absolutely.
Yeah, nice. And lastly, is there any key piece of advice or something that for those that are looking to go out? Great point in relation to keeping an open mind and understanding what the local requirements are. But any other advice for Australian companies looking to go global?
I think that every technical leader has to at some point consider about, what to keep in-house, what to outsource. And obviously a lot of the capabilities for a tech company you want to keep in-house if it's a core capability. Yeah. But as a company grow, I think there's always opportunities where there are things that are better to be outsourced, things that are better. Maybe it's not a core capability, or maybe it's something that it's hard to develop, hard to hire for, and too time consuming to build a whole team around that function. Then I think that finding a partner who can supply for some of those skill sets and adapt to the needs of the company as it grows, I think that's a really important piece of the growth that a tech company has to go through. And that's where I guess hopefully FPT Software can be of service and be a partner to companies. Yeah.